want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua, Ba'ashem, Rakab Kadash. Double honors to the apostle, elders, and bishops, the great millstone, taught us the truth. I'm the salutations to the elect, to the men that died doing the work. Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua, could have shall arise first. To the men, women, and children that believe on the true name of the Father and the Son, which the Father's name is Yahweh, He exists. The Son's name is Yahweh Shai, He is the deliverer, because He's come to deliver us out of this captivity that we're in. All right, the Church of Philadelphia, once again on the highways and hedges, coming to prophesy the downfall of this wicked-ass kingdom, which has a lot of our people in heavy derision, man. It got us in heavy derision, where you think left is right and right is left. Lately been in the the book of Ezekiel and all that, man.
Shit right down here.
And it's a lot going on in that book and everything. Matter of fact, let's start a book like that.
I got a perfect scripture on Ezekiel.
Bring it out, bro.
Exactly what I was reading. Right? This is the book of Ezekiel. Chapter 14.
Hey, Shalom, my guy. Y'all about to show something about the
Verse number. I know it's Ezekiel 14. Get the verse. Because Ezekiel saw the latter days, just like Isaiah, just like Jeremiah. They saw the latter days, which is referred to as them. Because a lot of things didn't happen at their time. Right? The Lord just gave them that vision. So we read about it.
Not to read about it, you gotta understand it.
You gotta understand.
And you gotta understand, like, the things that we're reading out of this book, that goes back to our actual ancestors. This is a history book. Knowing that, like, my uncle had sent me the family tree and everything, and it was showing you the whole, like, as far going back to the 1800s. A lot of people now can't even trace their ancestors back to 50 years ago. Why? Because of the mothers. They left the fathers and things like that. So now it's like they try to erase your history, man. But they can't do that. That's why you got family members that can go back and trace a lot of things back. But a lot of, like, even going to when you go into the Genesis and everything, right? I forgot what chapter it was, but then it goes back to the Dukes of Edom. But then you go to Matthew chapter 1 and 1. It breaks down Yahweh Shai's whole bloodline, where it came from. This person begat this. This person begat. So those are tools, man.
Right, and it goes from the fathers.
That's right, yeah.
The son of such and such, the son of such. That's why you get King the third, King the fourth, King the 10. Because it's going to the roots of that man's lineage. You know what I mean? That's how everything goes. Because that shows that, first of all, Yahweh Shai is Israelite. Because we come from his lineage. He's the beginning. He's, Adam.
It's the Alpha and Omega, man.
So, it's not just something that you can just depart from. I'm not an Israelite no more. That doesn't make any sense. You could say I'm not Muslim no more. You could say I'm not Christian or Buddhist no more. But to be an Israelite, that's like a tree saying, I don't want to be this tree no more. You still come from that root, from the trees that's around you. You know? Like in the forest. Not to, you know, drag it, but like in the forest, you'll have the biggest tree, which they'll call the mother tree, which is one of the first trees, obviously. But the roots connect to all these trees around them. So it keeps connecting, keeps connecting. So when you take down one tree, all the trees fill it. So when Adam and Eve sinned, the whole nation is filling it. You see? So we all got to go through them trials and tribulations because we went off as a nation. The so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians, which are the biblical Israelites.
Right.
That's why we're going through what we're going through. You know?
Right.
In the ghettos, you get the worst of crops in this society, man. You know? Last one hired, first one fired. You know, liquor stores all over your blocks. KFC, the worst food. Abortion rates is predominantly our people. But they want to be like, oh, Black Lives Matter. Well,
Yeah, I got something.
it just shows that our people are going to go against the church like the Lord said. But just to make a point, just to hit the home run, you compare that to these other heathenistic nations, it shows a difference.
Yo, and you know what? I wanted to name this your reward and everything, right? Hence we got everybody going to get a reward, right? So hence we have, we're going to go to Isaiah chapter 11. Hold up. Isaiah chapter 11 and verse number 10. Bear with me real fast. There we go. All right, so yo, it says the restored remnant. All right, we're just talking about who? The elect. The ones who stood so stiffly, man. Their reward is coming. Just like the reward for the wicked is coming as well, man. You know? All you gotta do is look up secular history and the things that happened to those people that was in that time. You know? You look at the people that was in that time and the thing and they was going against the prophets, look what happened to them. I'm talking about the real prophets, not these dudes that's coming out here that's been compromised by these little agencies and all that. No. The real prophets ain't go down. They wasn't getting down like that, man. You know? They spoke the truth. They trusted in Yahweh Bashim Yahushua Bashim Chakodas with everything, man. That's the only one that could deliver you. That's the only one that could save you, man. All right, so this is Isaiah chapter 11. I'm gonna start at verse. I'm gonna start at verse Isaiah 11 and all right. This is Isaiah 11 and 9. It says, "They shall not hurt nor destroy in my holy mountain, for the earth shall be full of knowledge, and Yahweh as the waters cover the sea." You know. So the earth right now is what? Full of knowledge. Why? Where did the knowledge come from? The law, statutes, and the commandments. Our people is coming back to it. You know? They coming back to their heritage, and that's what make these people nervous. That's what make these people mad. Because these ones that's doing all this damage and running around here killing each other and doing all that. Yo, the Lord called them to, you know, to be his children. But he also gave them, you know, he turned them over to the wicked ways of how they act, man. Yeah, cut. He gave them over to that. That don't got nothing to do with us. The Lord gave us over to this. Why? Because we trust him. We believe in him. You know? Reading on furthermore, it says, they shall, Isaiah chapter 11 and verse 9, once again it says, they shall not hurt nor destroy in all my holy mountain. For the earth shall be full of knowledge of Yahweh, as the waters cover the sea. That's everywhere, man. You know? It says, and in that day there shall be a root of Jesse, which we was talking about, going back to bloodline heritage and all that, man. A bloodline, all right? A root of Jesse, which shall stand for an ensign of the people. To it shall, it says, to it shall the Gentiles seek, and his rest shall be glorious. You know? So the Gentiles, you go into the Hellenistic era of the Greeks, right? And this is Isaiah speaking. All right? So our people back then, they was well in tune with Yahweh Shem Yahushai, just like the prophets of now, man. The same thing. There's nothing new under the sun, man.
Yeah, for sure. Like just like even when Jonah tried to flee, and he ended up on that boat, right? But there was heathens on the boat, and there was like a tempest, you know, and they was wondering like, what's going on? But then they found him. They're like, oh, it's a Jew. It's an Israelite on the boat. So their father, their God is mad. They knew that. You know what I mean? Go back to like how, like what the brother said, how in tune they was with the Lord. Even the heathens know, oh, it's Israelites around us. No, their God is going to be mad. Get them off the boat. But the Lord had it happen like that so you could get swallowed up by that creature. Right. Whatever it was. Right. You know? But just the point is, like, yeah, we was in tune. Now the Lord is bringing us back to our remembrance, to what? A pure language. You know, going back to our biblics, going back to the elders, the apostles on now. You know? Because we in them latter days. But I got something real quick. This 2 Corinthians.
Y'all sloppy real fast. And that root, when we was just reading that, right? And where we at? In Isaiah 11 and 10, right? That's telling you about your Savior, which these people now, going all the way up to the higher levels in this society, right? They're telling you that nobody's coming back to see you. But they want you to believe that. Because they done put so much stuff in your head. You'll think that. Because all you know your whole life and all you've seen is what's presented in front of you, man. But you don't look up history and you don't read that, man. Which is actual evidence, that's all we're trying to point out to you. And show you prophecy of what's about to come to this place. Which that's right in front of your face now, but what they do, you got the NBA finals, everybody's stuck on that. Matter of fact, they even took it as far as to give you for you football lovers, they give you the summertime football. They always got a way to keep you entertained, you know, until that destruction comes, what the Lord is going to bring. We're not doing that, you know. We just mere men. But we know and we believe and we trust in the Lord. Even the Pope told you that wasn't nobody coming back to see you. What happened to him? He's in the spirit world. Now you got another one. You know? You can't, listen, you can't go against the one that created the earth, man, woman, and beast. And it's all for his pleasure because he's the king. And that's what a king does. Look at the kings of the earth. Donald Trump. He got everything where he wants. He's a king right now. He's the king of Babylon. So whatever he wants to put in order and he signs and puts on there, it's going to come to pass. But he's controlled by somebody else.
Right.
You know? You're speaking facts, which you can look up for yourself. This ain't hate, this is truth. And it might sound like hate to somebody that hates the truth. If you love lies, so be it. That's your cup of tea. But you're going to get your reward for loving that, man.
Right, because the Lord said, what's that in Proverbs 21:1? That the king's heart is in the hands of the Lord.
Right. Yo, damn.
So regardless of the
Land
matter, whatever judgment
Right.
you get, you think it's from a man,
Right.
but really it's from the one that created that man to kill you at that moment. Just like when Haman, he thought he was gonna take out, exterminate the rest of the Israelites that was around. But little did he know, the Lord made him create a device for him and his family to get persecuted. So, you can't go around that like the brother said. It just says what? The deceive and the deceiver's is. You know? He controlled the lions when Daniel was in the den. You know what I mean? He even controlled, I think it was Xerxes, the Persian king, to allow us to build a wall for our defenses. So the Lord can do what he wants. And that's the one we should fear, because he's the one that brings down the judgment. Whether it may be animals, kings, law enforcement, you get struck by lightning. You know?
Man.
I got both of them here.
This is Proverbs chapter 21 and 1. And the headliner says, on life and conduct. It says the king's heart is in the hand of Yahweh, as the rivers of water. He turneth it whithersoever he will. And yo, can't no man control the river, man. No man that ever walked this planet can control the currents, the currents of the ocean, or a lake, or a stream. That's all his work. You can't even control how the trees, how they move, man. When that wind hit it. That's all his work, man. And that's how this word is, because it comes through just like that. As the air breathes, man. You know? So how can a man think that he's going to control his own things? You're just somebody different, but that's what Esau thinks he can do. More than what? Job 9 and 24. That's why the earth is given to the hands of the wicked. And that's why they got all these different technology machines. You know? Doppler radars and all that. And you went into the heavens. That's what you were supposed to do. But the Lord gave you that authority, man.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
The brother just said, like right here in the scripture. It says the king, Proverbs 21 and 1. Alright? It says the king's heart is in the hand of Yahweh. As the rivers of water, he turneth it whithersoever he will. Every way of a man is right in his own eyes. But Yahweh pondereth his hearts, man. You gotta get that one too, man. Okay. You know, it says what the Lord ponders his heart. Because we all think that we right. Oh, yo, I know I did Man, at the end of the day, it's about him, man.
Ponders his heart. Just like, I believe that's in the book of Daniel, the 5th chapter, I believe it was Darius. No, not Darius. The king of Babylon, where the Lord lowered his pride. You know, and made him to think that he was a beast.
Oh,
Nebuchadnezzar.
Yeah. No, that wasn't Darius. That was
No, I said Darius, but I said.
No, that was the king of Babylon.
King of Babylon.
Nebuchadnezzar.
Yeah.
Huh?
Nebuchadnezzar.
He went
Nebuchadnezzar.
into
Yeah.
the wilderness.
Yeah.
He made a thing as a beast.
Right.
The
Yeah,
reason
yeah.
why he did that, and that's a heavy point.
And that was
Yeah.
because of his pride, because he
Yeah.
wanted to, he thought he was going to make things happen
Right.
at the moment.
But see, and then that's crazy. The only way the Lord lifted up off that spirit off of him was when he confessed that Yahweh is awesome and the Son is awesome.
Right.
Over him, because he could, like I said, control the thoughts of a man. You know, even with these kings of the earth now, they're not. Yo, they're the same ones that was ruling back then. The same ones, man. You know?
Hey, he makes them speak deceitful words because they keep talking about ceasefires and peace and all that. What do? Next second, they bombing something up.
Yo, and that's
Right?
That's what they want.
Right.
See that? The scripture just said that. That's what they want to do.
Yeah.
I don't want no smoke. Please, let's figure this out.
Right.
Because you want to stay on top. And I just seen a video with it was how they got Africa. It was like basically the woman asked a question. She said, "What's the difference between the American debt? Like, what's the difference of the American debt and the difference of the African?" And it's like, because America, they don't, like, they got a debt, but they don't owe nobody. And that's how they look at it. I said, God damn. They try to put, because they
They
said,
got a debt that they don't owe
yeah,
nobody.
but they said
Yeah,
their
that's
money
crazy.
is debt. They said their money is debt. The American dollar is debt. So when they give you all that, we rather be indebted to the Hashim. And we don't even dig it, because it says it on the, matter of fact, you know what? I gotta think it's old.
That's what it was. Belshazzar. It was King of Babylon, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yo, this is a $2 bill, right? It's crazy because the Edomite gave me this joint. I said I ain't gonna spin it, but I'm trying to find. Here it go. It says it right there in the corner. About debts. You see that, John?
Huh.
And yo, you look on the back now, we in Philadelphia. Got the 76ers all there at the bottom. 1776 with the Declaration, the so-called Declaration of Independence was first formed, right? And it tells you. It says, this note is legal tender for all debts, public and private. So they're telling you, you use this, you go up out of it.
Huh. And brother, Daniel's name was Belteshazzar. It was King Nebuchadnezzar. If you look at Daniel 4, it was King Nebuchadnezzar. Daniel was called Belteshazzar. But the king was King
That was
Nebuchadnezzar.
Babylonian name.
Right.
Belshazzar was Daniel's devil.
Right. So that's Daniel. Daniel was called Belteshazzar, giving the interpretation to the king Nebuchadnezzar that he was going to get that curse put on. Yeah. It's going to Daniel 4.
With Daniel, when they called him Belshazzar and everything, all the prophets, whenever they went to a king that was in power, they always said, "Yo, long live the king."
God.
Why? Because they was in order with the Habashim outside, but they knew that king was set up for a purpose and a reason. But the Lord always took care of his prophets. He always will. You know? He always will. There's no getting around that, man. Even now, the prophets is about to wherever they at, whoever they are. The Lord got his hand on. You gotta go through a lot of stuff, man. No, you gotta go through a lot, yo. Trust me.
I got that scripture.
It's crazy.
Right.
But at the end of the day, the Lord is the one putting you through it. I believe it's Proverbs 30:4. I might be wrong with that one.
How it go?
The
Paraphrase.
scripture I want is who shall separate you from the love of Yahweh?
Oh, kind of.
Right. This is 2 Corinthians 5:10. It says, for we must all appear before the judgment seat of Hamashiach Yahushua.
Yo, that's heavy. And that's heavy. And that's what I like. We was talking about basically like the reward.
Right.
All right. Yo, that's the time we in right now. If you haven't been listening to the prophet speak, all the information coming out and everything like that. Time and time again. It's repetitive. It's like a man on a speed bag. He just keeps hitting it. How many times you gonna hit the bag? You know? But the Lord has been telling you, and that's mercy too, man. That's why you're gonna have a reward. You gotta, once you get it, you gotta go out and teach it. And speak it. You know?
Hey, and guess what? If you predestinated, just like the Lord told, I think it was Jeremiah, or Jeremiah's like, hey man, I don't want to do it, but it's in my bones. Is that Jeremiah?
Like
fire in my bones. Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
When you in the fire, you trying to get up out of it.
Right.
You gotta release that. It's like when the fire is burning in the house, when and the glass is man, I was in the house. So when the fire is consuming the house, if the windows is closed, it's going to break the windows because it's trying to get out, it's trying to release, and that oxygen actually helps the fire to consume more, man. Yahweh is the oxygen, man. Along with Yahweh's son, because he gave it to him. He gave us the fire. Yo, who was that? John the Baptist told you that. He was like, he said, I'll wash you with water. He said, but the one that comes behind me, he's going to baptize you with fire, man. It's like God being on fire for the word.
Yeah.
And all levels of your life, man. Not just doing videos and all that. It's a lot of different ways of the ministry. It's people don't even dig it. You know what I mean? This word ain't for everybody.
Hey, and that's beautifully said, brother, because if you got true faith, you're going to show it through your works. And your works can manifest in several different ways.
Yeah.
But it's up to you to put those works in and to ask the Lord for that spirit to give you more works to do. Right? Not to be boasted up of men, right? Or create some type of fame here, but hey, store up your treasures in heaven. You know, which is on earth.
Hey, when I say that your work shall follow you, so
God.
you want, like what you said, more work. Not in the sense of, because this is the real labor.
God.
But all the works, you'll stack like, here, this is what I, do your thing.
Right.
Because what man
Because
don't
these
want to
people
work?
do overtime in these jobs. Overtime, I'm getting back, I'm getting. But then when shit, when things hit the fan, now you want to call upon the Lord.
Right.
Whatever name you think that
But,
is.
Right.
but what man don't want to work? You feel useless.
Yeah.
If you're a man that like to work and things like that, just like you feel, I'm telling you, feel useless, man. You know?
And our real work is this word. If we could do this every single day, right, and be around each other every single day, hey man, that would be a beautiful thing. But Esau, Edom, and the other heathen nations got their foot on our neck. So yeah, we gotta work for them, and nobody wants to work for them. Let me tell you that right now. So the brothers ain't talking about working for them. He's talking about just not being idle, right? Doing something, building something up, right? But at the end of the day, this is the real work. We just in this wicked kingdom, we don't have that type of time that we would want. But in the kingdom, we're gonna have it. That's why we can't wait for the kingdom to come.
Matter of fact, I believe that's in Hebrews 4:11, where it says, labor therefore to enter into that rest.
Yeah.
Because we're not going to have rest here.
No, there is no rest.
Work, have two.
And you're still in debt.
With 2-3 jobs.
Right, and you're still in debt.
You still got to pay this check.
Right.
Got to pay this Amalekite.
Right.
You got to pay this bank off.
Yeah.
You got to pay the rest of your taxes,
Yep.
the IRS, your car notes, the
Yep.
book. So you're working almost like you're free.
Yeah.
But you're paying it right back.
And
just to survive.
and we don't get, in terms of the money that in terms of Jake, man, in terms of Jake, we don't get compensation like we should get in terms of our labor. Oh, here you got a CEO making $50 million, and you got the workers that actually do the work making 35.
Yeah.
How's that righteous?
Wrong.
How is that righteous? You know? So hey, this place has got to go.
And that goes into, I believe it was Lazarus where it referred to as the parable with the dog licking his wound.
Mm-hmm.
Going into the, like how the heathens is making our captivity worse
Yeah.
than what it is. Because they're flourishing in where we lay our heads. You know? And so that's about to change, man, you know? Because first of all, you gotta get paid before the sunset.
Right.
That's in the law, right? And then second of all, we're not even supposed to be intermingled with the heathens
Right.
in the same land.
Right.
You know,
Exactly.
they don't know how to keep a non-Sabbath. They don't know. That's why it's concrete. That's why brothers get up early in the morning, or you know, no matter how healthy you eat, you know, Jake, they don't care. Like 2/3 of our people, they don't consider it.
Right.
You know, yeah, you gotta keep a balance, but in other words, man, it just shows that this is not our rest, man.
No, it shows that
You know?
this is Babylon.
It's not our rest, you know? You gotta take medicine to go to work, like, you know? But anyway, I'll finish this off real quick. This is 2 Corinthians chapter 5 and verse number 10. It says, "For we must all appear before the judgment seat of Hamashiach Yahushai, that each one may receive the things done in the body according to what he has done, whether good or bad." You know? Whether good or bad. Matter of fact, I want to read that in the NLT. God. It says, 2 Corinthians chapter 5 verse 10 in the NLT. "For we must all stand before Hamashiach Yahushua to be judged."
That's what people forget about. Because all these deities that they were given, that's so drilled and birthed in their mind, but the Lord gave them all. Ezekiel could tell you that. Jeremiah could tell you that. All the prophets could tell you that, man. You know? Really, my man Jeremiah. 'Cause that's my guy, man. For real. All the prophets are, but Jeremiah, I don't know, it's just something like him, man. You know? He was going in and telling them, because all these different guys that you're serving, how they gonna serve?
Right?
Because you see the people out here, like we got the cops out here heavy. They've been out here, but they just finally opened it back up. But you know, people trusting them. Like that's go to them and go to Egypt for help.
Yep.
We ain't going to y'all be teaching y'all. Y'all not over us, man. And we not being violent. Y'all out here for these YNs, man.
Right.
Right.
The
Hey.
ones, that's the whooping stick. That's the sword.
Yep.
Well, they gonna
It's
put.
crazy because as soon as we came out, it was all over there. Tell me if I'm not.
Wow.
All the law was over there. They
Across the
didn't
street.
even come over
Yeah,
here.
they were-
They didn't
yeah.
even come over here.
And it started.
As soon as we opened up, Brother Trump, he over there standing looking at his phone. He came and stood right here. He had the YN standing there, a couple of them right there.
Yeah.
There ain't nothing but he had his little thing on.
Little camera.
Yeah. That's what that
The
is.
Lord, like,
That's all right though.
It, we,
Lord, the
they,
Lord is
what we
like,
do,
they got us
yeah.
anyway.
But the Lord, like, he protected us, because that's the sword. That's his sword.
Yeah, that's
And that's what them niggas respect. They don't respect us, but they don't respect the Lord. You know? But eventually the sword gonna turn on
Yeah.
the test to test your faith.
And they just want to get a little recording anyway. You know? Because that propaganda is going to be heavy. Because they want to get us off these streets. So he over here, he trying to be slick, but he's got his thing on, probably recording. Because again, this propaganda is going to be so heavy with all these executive orders that they writing up because they want us off these streets. Right? And false accuse us of any and everything. They ain't slick.
It says we will each receive whatever we deserve for the good or evil we have done in this earthly body.
Hey, but that's why we do this work. So at Judgment Day, our sins are blotted out. You know, because we want to be written in the book, right? But at the end of the day, whatever we do, whatever we say, whatever we think, it can't be hidden from Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua. So, hey, I know I got to look at myself in the mirror and say, I need to be mindful of not only what I do, but what I say, what I speak, and what I think, even what I think. You know, some brothers don't even understand that. What you think can cause damnation to you, right? What you think about your own brother can cause damnation to you.
That's right, brother.
You know, and the Lord knows that. The Lord knows your thoughts. You know? So, hey,
that's
man.
the saying my grandma used to say. She said, be careful what your eyes may see, be careful what your mouth may speak, be careful what you may think. I was like,
Hey, man, that's heavy.
think about it, because, like you said, the Lord knows your thoughts. This Job 19, go fast, and that's crazy. We speaking about it, right? And in this place where the Lord has us at, the headliner says everything is against him.
Oh, move it up.
It says everything is against him. And now you look at it, all this stuff out here is against Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua. Job 19:7, it says, behold, I cry out of wrong, but I am not heard. I cry aloud, but there is no judgment. Man, that's what we want to see, man. We want to see this place judged. You know? But at the same token, you gotta let the Lord do his work. Because he set this place up and he's the one that's gonna be able to take it down. We can't do that. All we're supposed to do is come out here and be obedient servants. Every man got their reward coming. It says he had fenced. It says he had fenced up my way that I cannot pass, and he hath set darkness in my paths. He hath stripped me of my glory and taken the crown from my head. God damn! Let's imagine the Lord. The Lord gave. Cause look at Yahweh Shai, the ultimate King of Israel. Underneath of Yahweh. You got King David, Malak. But the Lord sent him down here. Yahweh sent him down here as a man for us that rooted Jesse, man. You know, from that same tree. And guess what? He got his reward, but he was obedient. Going all the way back to Adam, man. You know? It says, damn, that's crazy. We just missing the tree, right? It says, he had destroyed me and on every side, and I am gone. And my hope hath he removed like a tree. That's crazy. It says, he hath also kindled his wrath against me, and he counteth me unto him as one of his enemies. God damn. Look at your people, man. You know? Because what? It's only so much. The Lord going to keep telling you. And that's only righteous and counts for things. The Lord is consoling these people, man. The Lord is consoling these people, but they don't want to hear it. So guess what? He's going to look at you worse than the heathen, and he's going to treat you. And that's what they're going to get, that heathen treat. He wasn't supposed to get it, since you want to be like him. So big. It says his troops come together.
Father of devil. That's what the Father will do. So you're going to receive that same consolation if you do, that same judgment.
Right. It says his troops come together and raise up their way against me, and encamped round about my tabernacle. And now look at this right. That's crazy. And not the Esau's troops, right? You know?
Let's get these.
And we ain't even making this up.
Right. There they go.
We're not making this up, man. His troops. Those are his troops. They set up round against us, man. And that's on the global stage, man. Not just here in Philadelphia, that's everywhere. But that's what they, that's why you gotta be humble, man.
Yeah. Circumspect too.
Yeah, that's right. You gotta know what's you gotta know the will of the Lord. Only the left is going to get there.
Right, and now they're trying to gear up. Also, by the end of July, they're investing all this money for police to have more equipment, to have better cars, basically to become more of a police state. Just like when they passed the, what's that, when the towers came down, the Patriot Act.
But all they're doing basically right now, because they got another 9/11 coming. Trust them, believe that. They got one coming. You don't know when, you don't know how, what, but you know it's coming.
Right.
But that's Esau. So what they going to want to do, point the finger at who? Us. That's why they having all these conferences and this and that, whispering amongst each other. Because ultimately, they going to bring it up. Them niggas that was on they got something to do with it. Everybody on the whole world is going to believe this. Because they already think that you would take.
Right. They've been building a story up about, the men of the Lord. Didn't they arrest the apostles during 9/11? You know what I'm saying?
Right
like without any evidence, right? They just, but
and that's what they doing.
Yeah.
Because like me and the brothers going through a video, we still got to do that. On the habeas corpus, they want to take that away.
Right.
So that means you don't got
no rights. Yeah.
You don't
got no rights. You don't have no rights either. Right now, actually. Because if they want to do something to you, they're going to do it. The only protection we got is Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushua.
Right.
They're going to make it to where you're not even going to go to trial.
Right.
Fucking attorney.
Right.
You're going straight to the box.
Right.
Straight to the box.
They can put you to death. He did this, and that's what I was like, matter of fact, damn. I remember Trump made this statement. He was like, he liked the way Kim Jong-un runs his
as a dictator,
country. And that's crazy. Because I remember talking to a person up the Northeast. I think he was Chinese or Japanese, something like that. But he said, he said it was him and his family. They was sitting in the area where they eat at. Guess you could say the dining room or whatever. Said they were sitting there eating. I think one of his family members had made a statement about the government or whatever. He said they rushed in the door, pulled just that family member out and killed him right in front of the house.
All right. Yeah. Oh, them countries in the East don't play. Yeah, think about them Arab countries too.
And that's what they want to bring over here.
Yeah.
This ain't no freedom of speech no more, none of that.
Right.
That's why they putting everything in order. And guess what? That's why, and that's also showing you that the Lord is taking his word away. All right? Check it out. It says back in Job 19 and 13, it says, He hath put my brethren far from me, and mine acquaintance are verily estranged from me. My kinsfolk have failed, and my familiar friends have forgotten me. That reminds me of Matthew the 24th chapter. When they want to deliver you up, they want to forget about you, your family and all that. Your family is the one that teaches word. That really believe. Not just men that just come out here and speak. That's not your family. Your family is the ones that truly believe what the scriptures are saying. That's your real friends. That's your real blood. That's the real tree that you come from. But the rest are going forward. And that's why we always pray, man. We pray that we have a hope for love. We don't know. We pray not to fall short.
The rest done folded. It's already here.
Verse 15, it says, They that dwell in mine house and my maids count me for a stranger. I am an alien in their sight. I heard that a few times. From people I know from the world, they like, yo, man, everybody thinks that you a T-boy. I'm like, damn.
Oh yeah. Shit, I heard that yesterday. You know what I'm saying?
I said, I ain't out here doing nothing.
Right.
No plans.
Right. The truth. And that's why we say the truth sounds like hate to those that hate the truth. Because this has nothing to do with this is nothing but the truth. The tea that we're in is the truth. And that's what you hate. You want to defend Esau and other heathen nations against your own husband, against your own brother, against your own uncle, right? Because it's family members. It's family members that are the most proud when they mock and scoff at you. I'm gonna tell you that right now. People you think that supposedly supposed to love you. I'm gonna tell you that right now. And so, but the Lord is putting a mighty spirit on us to say, you know what? Fuck you. Because the day is coming when Jacob trouble come and you're gonna be running, hollering for a man of the Lord. And guess what? Hey, you're gonna be dismissed because of all the hell you put your man through. All that mocking and scoffing and telling and calling the police and working with the government. Hey, you exposed now. So, okay. So we're going to see who was right and who was wrong.
When my man 50 said, he said, why she always want to call police on the nigga?
Yeah, but that's what they do. Because that's their master. For nothing, too, at that. For nothing. And love to threaten that, too. So we're going to see. Because Eve is a manipulative...
Guess what? And you know what? They got these police officers stationed to set up right here for a reason. Because the ones like if they wasn't here, you would have a whole bunch of niggas out here smoking weed, doing dumb shit and all that. But yet we still here standing in great boldness. You know? We're not running like this is a spot that we've been at. It ain't like we just chose it because the police is here. No. We ain't choose it because of that. We've been here.
Right.
And now they're forced to come because of all the other stuff, man. We actually try to flee from this type of shit.
Yeah, and we ain't on no dark net, on the web, clicking the keyboard, trying to set up something. No, we're speaking the truth in public, making our bodies a living sacrifice in public.
We're not antagonizing anybody.
No.
For clout or clickbait. You know, the Lord said his sheep shall hear his voice. The Lord knows, like the brother said before, the law enforcement was here heavy. We was here, speaking to the people.
Right.
The sick, the lowly, the ones that need to hear it.
And speaking to the people. Here you got a whole nation, Esau, Edom, acting with hatred, killing, raping, robbing, pillaging whole lands. But you want to call us hateful because we speak the truth, because we speak out of the scriptures. Their actions show who they are. You don't have to say a word. You know someone by their actions. So who has done the murdering, the raping, the robbing, right? The lying. Who's done that throughout the whole world? But you want to label us. You got to be kidding me. That's how you know who the devil is. Someone that can spin their own narrative, right? Someone that could be the villain and then portray themselves as a victim. Someone that's the true villain that can portray themselves as a victim.
I got a precept. There's the book of Isaiah, chapter 10, verse 1. It says, woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees. And Lord willing, we get the word. It says, and that right grievousness which they have prescribed. These laws they're passing.
Right.
It says, to turn aside the needy from judgment and to take away the right from the poor of my people, that widows may be their prey and that they may rob the fatherless. and that will he do in the day of visitation, and in the desolation, which shall come from God. To whom will ye flee for help? And where will ye leave your glory? That's heavy, because they're trying to imprison all these nations.
Right.
You know, with their treaties, with their sanctions, with their tariffs, with their fees, taxes upon not just Jacob, which they sold us into slavery, beat us, whipped us, still to this day. You know, their charges are stacked.
Right.
Right? But where are they gonna leave their glory? You know? Jacob is the Esau is the end of the world, Jacob is the beginning of it that followed. So, you know, the Lord is not forgetting Esau's judgments that they've been committing from generations.
Right.
Amalek, you know, yeah.
And you got military bases around the whole entire world. You got disinformation campaigns that cause riots in other lands, right? That cause chaos and all through your own propaganda. But then you hide behind the shadows as if you are a savior or something, right? You cause the chaos. What's that? Order ab chaos. You cause the chaos, and then you want to be the one that has the solution.
Yeah.
But you already caused it.
He likes to throw the rock and hide his hand.
Yeah, man. So you're right, brother. That judgment is going to come, and hey, man, we can't wait. And like, you know, like I always bring out, hey, man, we wish it was yesterday. And since it wasn't yesterday, man, we hope it's today. And if not today, sundown at second after sundown. That's how much urgency we have for our kingdom. And the kingdom is so that we can magnify, glorify, and praise the name of Yahweh Bashem El Shai and be in righteousness. We don't want to be here because this place is wicked. That's it. This place is wicked. But that's all right. The Lord's got something, the hope and salvation for the Israelites. You know, my brothers, I got a precept. This book of Zechariah, chapter 8, verse 1. Again, the word of Yahweh of armies came to me, saying, Thus saith Yahweh of armies, I was jealous for Zion with great jealousy, and I was jealous for her with great fury.
That's what you see what's going on with us today.
God.
It's like what they say, jealousy is the rage of a man. The Lord is a man of war. His name is Yahweh. That's what it tells you, the Lord of hosts, the Lord of armies. All this right here is a part of Esau's army. A lot of these men that conquered these officers and everything, it came from a branch in the military. You know, they went overseas, they fought and everything. Now they came back here, get that same authoritative power, a position. They do the same thing they get here. But the laws are different over here and all that. But you got what's that? War crimes, but it's laws and everything. And Esau breaks the law. He the one didn't try to blame it on somebody else, like the brother said. He the one that threw the rock and hide his hand. Like, who saw me through it? But now it's to the point where, you know, the Lord is he's exposing his people.
Right. Oh, the skirt is lifted up. People know. Yeah, people know.
They rising up. They read that again, brother.
Sure. This is the book of Zechariah, chapter 8, verse 1. Again, the word of Yahweh of armies came to me, saying, Thus saith Yahweh of armies, I was jealous for Zion with great I was jealous for Zion with great jealousy, and I was jealous for her with great fury.
Right. So when that fury comes, that's your reward for going off. It's like a man in a righteous society in the household. You lay the laws down, man. It's like a brother sent me a video. It was earlier this week. And I just looked at it this morning because my dad was like. So now when I can actually watch it fully, there was a dude on there rapping about being a father. How they the woman basically trying to downplay you. They try to hide the kids from you. They still want you to do this, and that.
Right.
You know?
They want that money though.
Exactly. That's all they want.
Right.
You know? That's wicked as hell. And that's like, and if you run to that, because she done ran to Esau. So if you run to that and trying to appease her, I'm not saying don't do what you're supposed to do for your children. That's as a man. You know? But serving her, that's crazy. That's like the Lord telling us, man, no matter what we go through, we still supposed to serve him.
Right.
We can't turn our backs, and that's what makes him jealous, to go to another power. You start praying to that deity. That's what makes him angry. Because you were called by his name. You know? You look up look through history, man. That's all you gotta do. Look through history. Look at the records, because they're all recorded. Going all the way back to the banks of America, man. All the slavery, whatever plantation that you was went on, your ancestors was there, man. It's like my uncle just sent me a family tree and everything. And it went back to the people that was certain plantations down south in Virginia. They was one of the ones that built the first Baptist church down there. And I said, God damn, and that's actually history. That is traced back through your family. That's why the scriptures going to all that. For you to trace back your ancestors to that. Because those are your ancestors. And they were slaves, man. They worked on plantations.
Where they was raped, robbed, murdered, right? Lied on, beat, right in front of the children. You're a grown man getting beat in front of your child. And Esau, you are so proud that there's been no recompense for that. So the Lord is going to recompense you. That's that anger, that's that jealousy that the Lord is talking about for the controversy of Zion. And that's why you got all these wars in the Middle East happening right now for the controversy of Zion. And that anger and that fear is coming here from Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua. You think you can rape, rob, murder, beat a people to death and continue to do it even still to this day and think you're going to get away with it without any righteous judgment? Oh, the judgment is coming. But you're so proud you think, hey, nobody can do anything to you. And you dare somebody to do something to you. Well, guess what? We're here to tell you Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua is coming to bring that righteous recompense to this land. It says, thus saith Yahweh, I am returned unto Zion and will dwell in the midst of Jerusalem.
Yeah, so the Lord said he returned to us. Start with his elect. When you go into the remnant, he always left a remnant. And every captivity to be a witness for what happened for the destruction of that place. Because you see the witness, you saw it. You know? You seen everything that was going on. You're like, God damn. You try to talk to them, but they don't listen. So now when that destruction comes to them, the Lord brings you to the next society. So you can tell them, man, look, you follow after them niggas, see what happens. I'm a witness. That's what we are, right out here in these houses and everything. We're witnesses, man. We can go through history and look up things. You know? That's what a lot of men, they don't even understand that. And my cousin was trying to ask me about, I'm looking at him like, I kept it short. And I was like, listen. I said, just look up secular history. You know? And I said, at the end of the day, this is only about the elect. Every man ain't going to. I told him I might not be able to. He could be, I don't know. But like you gotta look into things, man. If he's going to how he don't like really practice religion, I'm like, that's good. You know?
Well, tell me to look in the word. What is religion?
Yeah, I broke it down to him.
You know what I'm saying?
I broke it down to him. You know?
People just repeat what they hear. Exactly. Oh yeah, I ain't about religion. Yeah. What's religion? What's the word? What does it really mean? And then you'll understand
'Cause they
what
look
you're
at it
actually
like,
saying.
Yo, all these things people
Right,
practicing.
yeah.
I'm there, I'm like, yo, bro,
Right.
listen, hey, I don't follow that shit either. But you wouldn't understand the reason why I'm saying it how you say it. You could be saying it, then like you spewing out madness, man.
Right.
Talking about hitting a woman in the anus and this, and I'm breaking it down to them, which certain camps think it's cool.
Yeah.
Churches that think that you can do that. I actually King was teaching. And he want to talk about that. So that's why, like, at this point, man, I keep shit real minimum.
But it's after 2 or 3 ammunitions, hey.
Right, I ain't in there trying
That's
to
it.
change your mind, man. The spirit hop on me to speak. I'm to speak, man. Other than that, man, the evil words coming. You know? You're supposed to work diligently and hard, man. You know? To the end.
Verse 3 says, Thus saith Yahweh, I am returned unto Zion, and will dwell in the midst of Jerusalem.
I'll check this joint out. How you doing?
And Jerusalem shall be called a city of truth. It says, Thus saith Yahweh, I am returned unto Zion, and will dwell in the midst of Jerusalem. And Jerusalem shall be called a city of truth.
That's all you Israelites. Start with the elect. Yasharala. Yasha, what's that? Yasharala. Yasha. Going to Jerusalem is Yasharala. Yasharala. Yeah, Yasharala. That's Shalom. That's peace.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what we are. Read that again because it said we're going to be known to be the truth, man.
God. Hey, guess what? We've been talking about the truth.
Come on, man.
And this
Like
pretty
that
set came
song
out.
from C. We hear the truth. Every time we step in the booth, we speaking the truth.
Yeah.
We're not lying. But you know what? We don't even gotta even explain that. All we gotta do is to speak. And the Lord is going to justify everything we're saying. And he's been doing that. We break it down so we can continue to do that. And we will. Like I said, this is only for the elect, man. You got so many people that walk past here and all that, then you're going to be coming running and all that.
Right.
You know, then hitting you on the phone, yo,
Right.
give me the scripture.
Right.
So you give it to him and it's like, yo, what did you do with it?
Right. Hey, because the videos is going to be gone. We going to be gone. You know, we don't know where we're going to be, but hey,
That's right.
the Lord's going to shut the mouth of the prophets.
Yo, that's what's coming.
Don't y'all know that?
I'm telling you.
The prophet, the prophets was among them.
Yeah.
Because every generation that the Lord brought down, he always saved the remnant. It wasn't
Yeah.
everybody that was there.
Right.
Because if that's the case, then if God so loved the world, he would have saved everybody from every captivity.
Right.
So
Right.
what's the point of putting them in judgment? Like these Christians, they don't have like basic critical thinking skills.
Right.
You know? But the Lord said he changed not.
Right.
So if he did that before, why would he change now?
Right. Hey, in every kingdom, like you said, bro, every kingdom also that got brought down, he sent the prophets out before that kingdom got brought down, right? And then when it got brought down, even when he brought us down, he always saved a remnant for us too. To be those prophets.
Because like the churches, they got this New Age church.
Huh.
So this is the New Age.
Progressive.
So what?
Yeah.
So what happened
Yeah.
from back then when y'all was strict? Now you can wear pants.
Oh, you can do anything in these churches now.
So that lets you
Seriously.
know that that's a lie.
Oh
That
man.
lets you know that that's a lie because we still speaking things of old.
Right.
It's like that's crazy. That's why I brought the whole point of it with my ancestors on my father's side that built that church down there in Virginia. I think it was what was it? King George, Virginia County, something like that.
Yeah.
But it was
Church.
King George, yeah. It was big. And I was like, oh shit. And the plantation I think that they was on, it was Spy Hill. And I ain't look it up yet, but I said, yo, I gotta look into it. I'm gonna do some research on it. Spy Hill, but that's shady. Warner Plantation, they spying on it. You know? That reminds me of the Book of Jude. So your ancestors was already underneath of that gun. But then they built that church. So back then when they built it, they still was compromising for Esau. But they still had morals like the women, you gotta wear dresses, you can't wear this, you can't. But they parent themselves after the Edomite, man. But them women was doing the same shit. They was wearing dresses, man. Them big ass dumb hats that come to church. Where do you think your people get that from? They following after this society. That's not our custom. But they incorporated it in. And our people took it and they taught that to them. And then now you got it just waxed worse and worse and worse and worse and worse.
While still being wicked, while still raping, robbing, and murdering you, then they gonna go to church.
Yo, just
then
like
Esau Edom gonna go to church.
Yo, just like I was watching this one show called Dateline, right? And I was supposed to be an evangelist, which was a woman, and it was a bishop or a deacon that was in her church. They conspired together to kill her husband.
Right.
But they in church. Lying underneath each other's noses every day, man. You know, so that's how you know them churches is off, man.
Hey.
You conspire together to kill your husband. Matter of fact, because the dude used to play for the Memphis Grizzlies.
Hey.
He was somebody that was in this world supposed to be somebody. But you do all that. Then you went, matter of fact, that she ended up, which made it real significant because she went to Joel Osteen's church. I was like, you had that appetite for those fine things because women like cookies.
Like power, money, right?
I don't know. She lets you know, man. These churches is off. Then you got the African American flag in there. So who you really represent?
Pastors probably be cokeheads and shit.
Yo, they had one. Behind the joint short and shit.
Hey.
They had video on it.
The truth is not in these Christian churches. I'm tell you that right now, because they get their doctrine from Esau Edom. The same people that had their foot on your neck, the same people that raped your wife or raped your husband, right? Brokeback Mountain, right? Buck breaking, right? How wicked can you get, and would do it in front of the family?
That's what they humble. That's what they call it. They want to humble.
Yeah. And put fear.
Make you, exactly.
Really put fear.
But if you see your father getting raped by another man in front of you, they always came with numbers. They always try to do it to the biggest man.
Right.
On the plantation, the most strongest. You know what I'm saying? That's the break the willpower.
Right.
Because they looking at like, yo, you look up to this guy. That's why you look up to the Lord. And they doing all those things because they can't get in your house or your house. And they even beat your house up. So they hate us, but they hate him more because he chose us.
Yeah.
You heard that? She said they Israelites.
Yeah. No.
Because her son asked. He had that.
Yeah.
She turned around and looked and said, they're Israelites. That's crazy. That's how I know those.
It's a beautiful thing, man. Man. It's a beautiful thing. Yeah.
Well, nobody has an excuse.
Right.
At this point, nobody has an excuse. Self-examination is very important. Be heavy on it. There's more and more things is rolling out. They thought this was going to be like a Black Panther thing, and this,
Right.
This is above that. That payroll was done, man. This payroll was way higher than that. You working for the man that needed everything.
And we see how quickly that diminished, but how quickly is this growing and continuing to grow? Right. That's the difference. That's why I think you bring out a lot, brother. If it be of men, we should come to the north. Be of Yahweh Shem Shah. You know what I'm saying? So hey, and that's how you can see. And not only that, look at how Esau Edom treats us. right? And is scared to death of men of the Lord. And wants no smoke with men of the Lord. He was easy to put out, you know, he'll put out Muslims, right? He'll put them on a podium, let them speak. He'll put Black Lives Matter. He'll put Black Panthers. He'll let them go and speak. You have never seen nothing like that happen with us.
All these funded groups.
Yeah. He'll give them 501c3s easily. And money.
That's why even in this book, you don't gotta go to them to what? In this book, it goes into how Esau, which called them the Red Shields, Rothschilds, jewelry, used, they go how they look in the back. That's not the Amalekites. Basically going into how they used religion as a political game.
Mm-hmm.
When they was never religious, they never, you know, was into Christianity, into Islam, they just did business with them.
Right.
To have religion and politics to bring certain type of political peace in those regions. That's all it is. That's why they got to sign 501c3 charters. That's why they got to do, you know, these backdoor trades and all that. You know, we're not doing none of that. We out here, it was freely given, freely received, freely give. You know, Yahweh Shah was paid. I mean, we was bought by his blood, that's it. You know, but we're not out here with no agendas, man. We out here just to speak the truth. And to warn the people like, yo,
it's coming.
evil time, lamentations, mournings, and woes is about to hit the
coming.
fan. You know?
And hey, we want to follow the law, statutes, and commandments. That's the difference too. We don't just read this book. We actually want to do what's in the book. And when you think about the laws that the Lord has given his people, it's for us to be prosperous. It's for us to live life and have that life lived more abundantly. So when you talk about something like the dietary laws, he lets you know what to eat and what not to eat. He lets you know what each animal is there for. Like, for example, the shrimp, crab, and lobster and all that. Hey, the crab and lobster, they're supposed to clean the sea. We're not supposed to eat those things, right? The pig is supposed to clean the land. He's the garbage pail of the land. So you're telling me Yahweh said not to eat these things because they're abominable. Then he's going to say, you know what? Hey, I was just joking. Go ahead and eat that detestable thing. No. That's how backwards these people are. And again, it starts with Esau, Edom, and what he spreads upon our people.
My grandma's alive. She was like, look at all that gyrate rabbits. And they just laughed. That's me.
Yeah.
Little girl, she can't be nothing but no. The oldest I give is 3.
Probably 3,
Maybe
yeah.
4.
Probably 3. Yeah, I didn't even see what she's doing, but that's
she's able to walk, because I know like children,
yeah.
you know, you
She's
have
probably 3.
age, you know what I mean? The age you can really, God damn, man, she's doing all that extra.
Hey, because she's getting poisoned. She's getting poisoned, right?
That's right, bro.
Yeah.
Nice.
That's all right, yo. One thing I'm gonna say is the Lord will never be mocked. These YNs come up here every single week to create mystery. Like the brother just brought out, like the brother always said. If this was a man, it would be brought to law.
Right.
You still out here. Being humble servants, man. Not being rowdy, not bothered, you know what I mean? Like, there's plenty of times, you know, Satan try to bring up things, try to deter you and all that, but you just gotta be soldiers, man.
And war proof, war ready, right? And not in a carnal state, spiritual war, because this is spiritual warfare right here.
Right, yeah, for sure. Daily, you know what I mean? With yourself, you know, that's the importance of praying. You know? Because, hey man, just knowing the things that we read about, what's coming, the times we've never seen before. And it's one thing to read about those things, but to go through it, these people, they're so used to that comfort. You know, so when the Lord brought them out of Egypt in the wilderness, they couldn't handle it.
Nah.
They couldn't bear that trial and tribulation at that moment. So they want to go back to that comfort. Woe to them that go to Egypt for help, not knowing that Egypt is the one that caused the problem.
Right.
So either way, you know, Esau don't care. You're gonna die whether you sell out or not. Like, it's better to fight for righteousness. You know? I'm gonna bring this out real quick. If you're done with that.
Yeah, go ahead, bro.
This is the book of Ezekiel. Ezekiel chapter 7 and verse 14. It says, they have blown the trumpet, even to make all ready, but none go up to the battle. For my wrath is upon all the multitude thereof. That's what we're doing, we're blowing the trumpet. Which is a watchman's duty, which sounds an alarm. So people could get ready for any outside invaders that's going to try to penetrate through those walls. In ancient times, that's why they had them with the high watchtowers, and they had the walls surrounding them. So you can see from afar.
Can warn the people.
And we're seeing
Get ready.
From afar.
Yeah.
That's what a seer is. You see counting the cost. You know? So we're blowing that trumpet in the midst of Zion, in the midst of our people. Like, look, Isaiah 55:6, seek ye the Lord
Why he may be found.
Call upon him while he is near.
Huh?
And we know he's near because of what he said was going to happen.
Right.
Before his second return was him.
Prophecies rolling.
Intensifying. Also happening quicker. You know?
Days seeming shorter, months seeming shorter.
Yeah,
like,
hey.
hey.
Me and my brother just yesterday was like, yo, we was just at camp.
Right.
You
Yeah.
know?
So he's speeding up that time. And what he say? He's got to speed up the time for the elect sake. Or else no flesh is going to be saved. Not in this place, because this is a wicked, wicked place. And they could pop off at any moment. Any day now.
Yep.
So, hey, we want to be found doing. We want to be found righteous. And when you think about it, the prophets of old warned the people. And what happened with Jake? Israel was just a stiff-necked people and didn't want to listen. Because we're hard-headed and stiff-necked. Over and over again, warnings given. Over and over again. We didn't want to listen. So we're doing what we did back in the ancient days.
Yeah, it's no more than the same. But this is real quick, verse 15. I can read to verse 17. It says, the sword is without, and the pestilence and the famine within. He that is in the field shall die with the sword, and he that is in the city, famine and pestilence shall devour him. But they that escape of them shall escape and shall be on the mountains like doves of the valleys, all them mourning, everyone for his iniquity. All hands shall be feeble, and all knees shall be weak as water. They shall also gird themselves with sackcloth, and horror shall cover them, and shame shall be upon all faces, and baldness upon all their heads. It's a sign of mourning, man. You know, that's going to come on every side. Because this is going to be, in this time when the Lord visits the earth, it's going to be a global thing. The whole world is going to see it and feel it. You know, not like back then it was a one region and then this region and then that. No, now it's, because this is the last captivity. This is the last that our people's going to continue disrespecting the Lord and wickedness. This is the last time. This is it. This is it. We're here. It's the fourth quarter. You know, before the Lord finally cleanses the earth again, cleanses us again, cleanse our people through fire, you know, through judgment, through that final ass whooping, if you will. You know?
For the first time.
Right.
That's heavy, man. Yo, that.
I got you.
Yo, that's God damn. That's tight, cause look how proud the people are, man. Even the lady that walked past my son, she was at home, cause I know he asked her. She turned around and looked.
He's probably what, 6 or 7?
Yeah. When she was like, oh, they're Israelites. So you see that his son is and he wants to he's how you say cohesive, so to speak.
Curious.
You know, so he like, damn, what's that?
Yeah, he's curious.
So now you know, so you should have stopped and let him listen.
Right.
You know? Instead of just whisking past, you know. So now in that day, she's gonna be held accountable. There's gonna be baldness on all heads, and the Lord say, yo, that's mourning. Because whenever we went through like we lost a family member or something, they throw sackcloth on, cover ourselves with dust, shave our heads bald, man. That's a sign of mourning, man. And that's what they did, y'all can ask them. And that's what this place is coming to. It's about to come to mourning.
They said they'll rent their hair.
Yeah, come.
Some dudes try to use that to use an excuse to get shaped up. No, it's not what that's talking about, man. At all.
That's what I was saying. As I said, the reward of Babylon is coming.
You know what? What we do, we rehearse the righteous acts.
Yeah.
You know, brothers help each other. We don't have to say what we did. You don't have to go on camera and be like, oh, look, here's $20. Because what? You want to be reward open. What you do, that's between you, the brothers, and the Lord.
Hey, and you ain't do it anyway. It's the water Yahweh Bash
It's
never
all
shot.
him, right, it's
You
all-
ain't, people thinking they doing something. You ain't do nothing for
But they
nobody.
don't,
It's
yeah,
due to water
yeah.
It's
Yahweh
like them
Bash
niggas
never
that
shot.
be on the beach right now, going out there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Put on, no, that shit was good.
You got $10 from me? You got $10?
Uh-huh.
Okay, here you go 10. Okay, I'm gonna give you 400. Come on,
So
man.
now
That's-
that's recorded. So you're recording on camera, right?
Yeah.
And the Lord says, well, what you want from Yahweh, that's when he told you how to pray. I believe that's in Matthew the 6th chapter. When you're supposed to go pray. He said, you go to your own personal closet and you pray. He said, what you ask for in secret, the Lord is going to bless you openly, man. When people see all they're going to be like, because you're being righteous, we ain't boasting and
Yeah.
bragging. You never do that. If you boast and brag, your eye about shit outside.
Right, because that's who did. That's who did it.
Right.
Yeah, don't be acting like you doing anything. You, hey,
Now you
why do
taking
Yahweh
the
Bash
glory
never
away
shot?
from
Yeah, right. Yeah,
Don't get no
That'll
glory.
be just, that's a corruptible glory. That's
Right,
vain-
yeah.
That's vain glory.
right.
That's right. Because when Yahweh shot, well, he was a man of no reputation. He didn't take the glory for himself, man.
Right.
He took a lot on the chin.
Hey,
You don't even dig it, man.
mess around and be like Nebuchadnezzar, like we said earlier.
That proud ass,
Rolling around in the grass.
like an animal.
Yeah.
Man, you was a king.
Yeah,
You was a king
yeah.
of the Babylonians, man.
Right.
Like Edomite, man. And look what the Lord did to that motherfucker.
Yeah.
You know? He ain't good after Yahweh shot, because when Yahweh shot came, you already know. Listen, I'm talking about my father.
Right. And that's it.
Just like how he played King Saul's money.
That's right.
You know? Having him thinking, going to witches and trying to get that power back when he was rejecting savage.
He lost his faith.
Lost that, you know what I mean?
Lost his faith.
Well, this is in the NLT, the book of Ezekiel, chapter 7, verse 14. It says, the trumpet caused Israel's army to mobilize.
See that, yo, that's when you hear that trumpet, when you blow the trumpet in the beginning. When you mobilize and get together. And that's what the Lord is doing now. He's blowing the trumpet. That's what God has been out here in the highways and that.
Right.
In our order with him.
Yeah.
You know? Why? Because of that fear. When you hear those words, man, yo, if you don't react righteously, man, there's something wrong with you, man. There's something wrong with you. When y'all fall short of the glory, That's why men, they do it with all your might, man. You know, with everything in your existence. Day to day, man. You know? And the more you're gonna have more demons trying to come at you and this, that, and all that.
Yeah.
That's all a part of the game. So now you gotta look at yourself. What am I doing? I gotta better myself like a man that lifts weights and everything. You know, you gotta eat certain things. You gotta eat right. You gotta take care of yourself. And be able to lift more weights. You know, to strengthen your muscles.
That's spiritual strength.
Yeah,
and them
right,
demons
right.
is going to come in the form of your so-called rib,
Yeah,
your so-called brother, your
right.
so-called sister,
right,
your
yeah.
so-called mother,
Yup.
family, friends.
Right.
And they coming.
Yo, look who it is. That's the that's the one that grabbed my chin. That's crazy.
Then it says, but no one listens, for my fury is against them all.
It'll bring it from the top of the slot. Dang, that's heavy.
Ezekiel chapter 7, verse 14. The trumpet calls Israel's army to mobilize. And that reminds me of even like the time of Joshua. You know, when they brought down the walls of Jericho.
Walked around, yeah.
But the
Ain't
Lord
such a-
brought it down.
Right.
You know? What they did was, and they circled around 7 times. The Lord got us circling around the earth right now. And all we're doing is blowing the trumpet, bringing down the walls of these different camps of Israel.
Even when we was in the wilderness. We walked around that land. You look at the maps, and you, like you really read and everything, and you see the reason for those people were walking. The Lord just was making them go to sleep.
40 years.
The claim, yeah, before that's mercy.
Yeah.
And what you was doing, basically, he was claiming that land. You know? He was claiming that land.
Thank you.
He was claiming that land, and the Lord was showing you, yo, this is yours. And that's why right now it's starting to be more and more replenished. The Lord said, "What? I will prepare a place for you." What happened? What's that? Euphrates River dried up.
Yeah.
That goes back to Egypt. The Lord drying all that up, and He's making our land replenish beautifully, man. You know, because that stuff is old. The earth is changing. It's going through a cycle of change. You know? What the Lord is about to, He's preparing it for the rightful owners because He knows that those are going to be the ones that take care of it rightfully, man. Not wickedly, man.
And that's
Not abusing it.
That's heavy because that's what's going to cleanse these lands through fire.
Right.
Because
Right.
now China's talking about if Israel goes and strike Iran for 3 days straight, they're going to turn Israel to a wasteland.
And yo, listen, and the Lord is bringing all
That
those,
land need to be,
and He's bringing all those bodies over there.
Right.
Army of the North to Saudi Arabia. What those bodies going to do? Come from the ground. That's when they're going to go right back. When the first orders is going to be to bury, well, for them to bury those dead bodies, to replenish the earth. You know, that's why I say ash to ashes, dust to dust. You're going right back in the ground when you came. And that's going to be what? To replenish our land. The Lord knows what He's doing, man. He got all the coordinates, man. You know?
He says his hour shall not miss.
That's right, man.
But it says, the trumpet calls Israel's army to mobilize, but no one listens. For my fury is against them all.
That's right. See that? No one listens what we say.
Right.
That's cool.
Right. That's why I keep saying, Son of Man, prophesy.
Right.
Son of Man, prophesy. Again, saying, Son of Man, and that's what we're doing right now, because ain't nobody listening.
That's right, yeah.
Yeah.
They're not just like that lady. Oh, they're Israelites.
Right.
She made sure we heard that. You know how she said it?
Right.
Well, the Spirit let us hear it.
Right.
You know? All right, because we ain't hear what the young boy asked her.
Right.
We just heard her response.
Hey, but we got thousands of people.
Literally.
That's hundreds of thousands probably since we've been out here walking past us or seeing us, right?
Right.
Hundreds of thousands. You know, we can count on our probably hands and toes, all of us, how many people actually stop to listen. Right? What it say?
People even make follow.
Prophesy to the wind.
Okay.
You know? So that's what they're doing.
That's where we going. Then they want
It's
to
that song by Moby.
one of these. Yeah. Okay, look up.
Yeah. Beautiful song.
They're
Yeah.
gone, they're going to be looking.
Yeah.
What is
It's
a
like
new
what?
day?
Yeah.
Amos, you shall seek the words of the Lord and shall not find it.
Right, brother.
You know? But now you got to seek him early.
You had an alarm for 6:05?
Why not? So cut it off.
I could have.
But it says, there is war outside the city. Remember? War.
One side, no man is safe from. Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. That's the spirit. Yeah.
God, there was war outside the city, and disease and famine within.
You said you could run, but you can't hide forever.
It says those outside the city walls will be killed by enemy swords. Those inside the city will die of famine and disease.
God damn.
The survivors who escape to the mountains will moan like doves, weeping for their sins. Their hands will hang limp. Their knees will be weak as water. They will dress themselves in burlap. I may look that up. Burlap. Horror and shame will cover them. They will shave their heads in sorrow and remorse, because they don't remember everything that they heard. And now, just like in the days of Noah, so shall also the coming of the Son
Son of Man be. Yeah.
Once the doors is closed,
You know what?
you can't get on that train. It's gone.
Yeah.
That's it.
And that's going back into that time where every single destruction of a region or whatever, and the Lord always put his prophets out there and it's prophesying. The ones that's outside the gates, it's like you're like an army because that's what you gotta do. The ones that's inside, you dying in family. If you escape all that, you go to the mountains, right? Because you had look at Lot and his daughters. They ran to the mountains, man. They escaped. Now you see all that destruction. You're like, God damn, his daughters was wicked. Because that's where we get Moab and Ammon from. Chinese and the Japanese. Because they did a wicked deed. So they really wasn't, but the man by himself, probably he lost his wife, he got your daughters, he lost family and all that. See?
You know me so well.
Drinking, you know?
You said no, let's go.
And then his daughters see that now that demon hops on them. Oh, who's gonna carry our father's bloodline? Now that's doing no, that's going off, man.
Hey, they ain't trusting y'all by no shot.
The
Ultimately.
man's morning, just like Noah. Look what happened with Noah. After all that destruction, he went to his tent. You know? That man was blown. You know? We physically lost this. We left this place. Mentally. This place don't even exist. I mean, the brother was talking, he was like, oh shit, it's Memorial Day weekend. I'm like, damn, I forgot all about that.
Right.
Not because like we, man, this place is toast, man. You know? You already in that morning sight, looking at yourself every day, constantly examining yourself. You know? You could beat yourself up. Or to beat yourself up more than anybody else do. You know? 'Cause you know yourself. You got a lot of shit with us as a nation. The Lord is going to be the one to separate all that, man.
Yo, and you yourself, like you just said, you the one that got to live with that shit.
Exactly, yeah.
You know, the Lord can have your mind just thinking about shit over and over. You know, just like when somebody killed somebody for the first time, that shit can haunt them. When they sleep, cold sweat. You know? So we, like the brother said earlier, Brother Roger, man, we don't want to go out no more. You know, we don't want to do certain things anymore. We want to be 144% right. You know? They ain't feel like, yo, you really deserve it. All right, that's it. Got it. Now you can say you got it. Because he gave it. That was it on that, bro.
It says, thus saith the Lord of hosts, There shall yet old men and old women dwell in the streets of Jerusalem, and every man with his staff in his hand for very age. And the streets of the city shall be full of boys and girls playing in the streets thereof.
Wait, that's in that's
Zechariah, chapter 8 still. Yeah.
That's going to when we get to the kingdom.
Right, yep.
That's like, because right now, you got all these parks and playgrounds in Philadelphia. That's where the most violence happens. You know, where these niggas want to shoot up a basketball court. Don't give a fuck if kids out there or not. They do that shit. Because they're emotional. They were raised by their mother, and their mother condones that. You know? I seen a video with it was a little infant, probably not too long out the womb or whatever. But the lady had a little play gun in his hand. Small joint. I'm like, wow. And you wonder why they grow up like that. Because these women want the children to take the roles of the fathers, but they want to take the fathers away from the children. Because
Hey.
the fathers already know that they full of shit.
And Eve want to be in control. Her
Exactly.
wicked ass want to be in control
Right.
through her emotions
Right, yeah.
and through what this world has told her she's supposed to be.
Right.
They don't want to be righteous. They don't want to sit down. Hey, let's reason together through the scriptures. True men of the Lord, we don't want to talk to you women about nothing in dealing with your emotions.
Right.
We want to deal with it from the scriptures. So when you ready to talk in righteousness, then we can talk. Other than that, hey man, the men of the Lord, we tired of talking about wickedness and foolishness. And as it says in Zechariah chapter 8 and 4 and 5, it's talking about us being in peace. Our old men, our old women, our young boys, our young girls, we're in peace.
That's the reward of doing this work. You want to be the first to get them.
God.
You know, the last to serve these guys, but the first to get that reward.
It says, thus said Yahweh of hosts, if it be marvelous in the eyes of the remnant of this people in these days, should it also be marvelous in mine eyes? Saith Yahweh of hosts. Thus saith Yahweh of armies, behold, I will save my people from the east country and from the west country, and I will bring them, and they shall dwell in the midst of Jerusalem, and they shall be my people, and I will be their power in truth and in righteousness.
Right, that's talking about all four corners, basically. Wherever we're scattered at. Israel's going through it, man. We going, as a whole nation, we are going through it. All you gotta do is come out to do it. And now people, they always want answers. Oh, why is this happening? But you're going to the wrong sources.
Right.
When the Lord puts it right out there in front of your face, but you don't want to listen, man. You run to Egypt, man. You run to your oppressors. The one that gave you your gods, man.
And who's about the dumbest, as dumb as a rock.
You don't even know
This-
why he's here.
this
You don't even
guy.
know why he exists.
Right. Doesn't know who he is,
Yeah.
you know, and just lies, lies and wicked. Doesn't know why he wicked either. The Lord has made you to be wicked.
Exactly.
You outsmart your own self, you so dumb.
These niggas, man, what they say
You
about
know?
dumb as a doorknob.
Right.
Doorknob can't turn and leave somebody to turn.
Right.
You know?
And the only flavor you got in your organization, your companies, is through us. It's through the Israelites. That's why this place is so full of life. It's because they got the Israelites here. That's it. You got the majority of the Israelites here. That's it. Take us out, and hey, man, this wouldn't survive a day.
Right? Cause yo, you know what, man? That's crazy. I was watching Locked Up. It was this one. He looked like he might be not Manasseh. I know he's of the Northern Kingdom, right? You gotta be like from Venezuela, Colombia, something like that. But he was known in whatever jail they was in. He was the cleaner. They was like, yo, we got him cleaners because he cleans so good. He said, I've never seen nobody clean like him. Right? I said, damn, that's what's up. So the boy, he was trying to get in another cell with another dude. Because he ain't like to be around footloose, but the dude was saying how he wanted to clean up his cell to invite him in. He said when he came in, he was like, oh, like I got And he went through it. Then when he cleaned it, he was like, oh shit, this how it's supposed to be. You guys smelling like this, that, and third. But it was one correctional officer. He was like, man, that's why we got him on the block. He's the block working clean. He said, man, if I had it my way, he's like, I would let him come home with me and clean my house. I said, God damn, that's crazy. But see, that's how you know that Israel is something, man. Because why can't he can't clean his own house? He was a fucking heathen. So if we was to get up, and if that was the case, if the Lord allowed that to happen today, all the Israelites in America got up and left. This place would fall in one day.
Right.
It would fall in one day.
Right.
Because ain't nobody tilling the ground, ain't nobody doing it, but you always want to complain about us.
Right. Hey, they leave and try to go where we are.
Exactly.
That's what will happen.
Exactly.
Hey.
Y'all thinking that the Lord going to look out for me? No, he's not, man. We're in punishment right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, we the minority.
Matter of fact, we have Ezekiel, I think it's 23, start of verse 1, when it goes into the two daughters, no, two sisters,
God.
and it's talking about us.
Talking about the two kingdoms, northern kingdom and southern kingdom.
Exactly. We went a whoring after these other nations, and this is the conditions that we're in. These people, they always want to, they quick to talk shit about you, but they need you. Then it's a psychological thing that they want to get in your head and say that you're not shit.
Right.
This place is desperately wicked.
It's the book of Ezekiel, chapter 23, verse 1. The word of Yahweh came again unto me, saying, Son of man, there were two women, the daughters of one mother, and they committed whoredoms in Egypt. They committed.
That mother is the scriptures.
God.
The daughters of one mother. That's the scriptures. That's Sophia. That's our mother. That's our woman too. You know, when you go into a war.
And that's wisdom.
Yeah, we come from that. But now you want to go to other nations and commit whoredoms. Because, they're stronger than us. They look stronger.
Right.
But they're not. Because you're in punishment. So the Lord is going to put you into that punishment with your hand called for because of what you've done. You got it, brother. What's going on, brother?
It says,
Hey, brother, keep your head up. I heard you talking. I heard you. Don't even sweat it. Don't even sweat it, brother.
Appreciate you, man.
No doubt, brother.
and they committed whoredoms in Egypt. They committed whoredoms in their youth.
See that?
There were their breasts pressed, and there they bruised the teats of their virginity.
See that? But you abuse them. Exactly. There you go. And yo, what it says, like, you gotta be weaned off of that milk. Because that's like a man that's first born and everything, right? You have to get the milk first. Because you don't have any teeth, you don't got nothing. So now, once you start getting it, everything comes in the formation. But it comes from your mother, right? Because what happens with your mother's body when you are put inside of her, her body's preparing for you to be able to feed you and nourish you. That's why the mother is known as the nurturer. Right? The father is the discipline. So now what the Esau does, they try to alleviate the mother's nurturing, right, by giving you formula and all that, just give you all that nutrients to mess the child up. You know? That's why they show a lot of children, they can't handle it, they can't take it, so they end up dying. But they're not going to tell you that. You know? So they mess with your household. They mess with your household from the beginning. As soon as you come out the womb, man, you already cursed, man. Here. You wonder why they got certain laws stacked up and this, that. Because you gotta understand your sins that you committed to it. You know? And you gotta turn back to it.
You know what? These other philosophies is like getting similar.
Right?
Yeah.
Getting the pure,
Right.
you know?
Right. There's no nutrition. in that, right?
Yeah, that was actually
Yeah.
But they say you're malnourished.
Yeah.
You
Right.
ain't eating the right food.
Right. Right.
They ain't giving it to you for the food.
Right. And when you think about also that analogy too, when a woman is pregnant, everything grows for her. Her nails,
Yup.
her hair,
Yeah, she starts growing. Yeah.
Yo, I
her skin,
come beautiful.
right?
Because she has a life inside.
Right.
You don't know who that life is.
Right.
Yo, with my daughter's mother, my youngest, she, man, her ponytail was like this big. But yo, when she was pregnant with my daughter, her hair grew, and I'm looking like, oh shit.
Right.
She like, oh, now you wanna be doing that extra shit. As soon as you have my daughter, not too long after that, you know, right back out.
Sucked it out of here.
Now my daughter got all that.
Right.
Because it was for her.
Hey, and because it was your righteous seed was in that too, right? So we have given them more life from our seed,
That's what
right?
we do. Because there you go. We're the, I say the supplanters. We plant. You know, the man does that. The woman is supposed to receive the seed, just like the earth is supposed to receive the seed when we plant in the earth, man. You know? They walk around, dudes walk around like the earth is more important than the ones that live on it. We come from it. You know, but we come from him. Because he planted us in the earth. The first seed planted was the man. In the earth. Going what? What's that? What was reading Genesis? What's that? 11? No, Salak in my fault. First Corinthians talks about the first woman came from man. The first woman came from a man, and after all that, then after every man came out of a woman, but it was through the man.
Still through us.
Exactly.
Still through us.
So they try that, we don't need whatever. 2 dykes, you still gotta go get semen
Right.
from a freaking bank to be able to have a child.
Right.
And you can't build a nation
At all.
with 2 women.
At all.
You can't build a nation with 2 men.
That whole shit have died.
Right? You gotta understand that. That's why these scriptures are life.
That's right.
Speak life.
So I said, what? I'm wrong.
Right.
Go ahead, brother.
It says, and the names of them were Ahalah, and the elder, and Oholabah, her sister. And they were mine, and they bear sons and daughters.
See, that
Thus,
said they was mine. Meaning both northern and southern kingdoms belong to them, right? Bear sons and all. But guess what you did? You got it.
it says, thus were their names. Samaria is Ahalah, and Jerusalem, Ahalabah.
So that's the nations that we was in. You know?
Come.
Was in those nations, man. And it goes like Samaria, you know, he was once
That's Ephraim.
yeah, he was once in Samaria.
Yeah.
That wasn't that prophet Hosea that was speaking in that region, if I'm not mistaken.
I'm not sure.
I can't remember
Yeah,
where
yeah.
I'm from, so forgive me. I'll look it up.
Yeah. Come, we'll look that
I
up.
don't want to give you the wrong information.
Yeah.
But I know Hosea was, I think he was prophesying against the Ephraimites. You know, in his time. You know?
And Aholah played the harlot when she was mine, and she doted on her lovers, on the Assyrians, her neighbors.
Yeah.
And that's the northern kingdom. Because they got taken into captivity in the Syrians. It says,
they want to be just like them.
yeah, right.
They want to be like, yo, even to this day where we are here, which we were speaking about earlier with the whole churches and everything. You know, you always want to be like your slave masters. When the Lord, we're slaves to how about you know what I'm saying, man? And you gotta be a representative of him, man. You know? So if you represent, that's why ultimately what it's coming down to, that RFID microchip, man. Ultimately, that's the end all be all here in Babylon. You take that, it's done for you. You're done.
Hey, and I just put up a video this week about Trump. I don't know if y'all saw this, but he had a crypto gala, digital currency gala, like a couple days ago. Well, yeah, he had a whole dinner of cryptocurrency dealers. Yeah.
He's doing his thing.
Yep.
We also qualify that, what's that? That dome?
Yeah, look that up. Digital currency jump. Yeah, I did a video on that too. The Golden Dome. Yeah.
That's what they do. They want,
Yeah.
but there's no protection.
Yeah, the Golden Dome of prophecy. Which one you gonna choose? You know?
Basically, like it's no protection for this place.
Right. Yeah, but
And yo, that's what me and the brother was talking about earlier this week. Because this is known as the virgin door. It has not been touched. We're talking about penetration. So that's going to be this place being touched. When those nukes are here, it's going to penetrate this place and utterly burn it. It's no longer going to be called tender and delicate. You know?
Yeah.
So all the other nations look at this place and oh, look at that one. They all want to come here to get a career, to start their lives over, bring their families from over there. All you gotta do is go to UPenn, and you see all those people that come from other nations and all that, man, that try to come over here and learn and all that. Come on, man. You come in here and vain. Then you even got people from over here, Temple and all that, they go over there. And all this is a big ass bartering system of a worldwide stage. You know? You got connections over there. Oh, you come over here, well, we'll teach you this. Y'all that movie, I think it was Oppenheimer, Einstein, and all that. Yo, them niggas, they go over the whole world, man. But they want your mind. I think Einstein taught over there. He taught overseas too. One of them dudes, man. But I know he taught overseas. Spain or something. But if you notice, the lands where they send these people from Babylon is the same lands that was in power before. Hence going to the chart with the 7 heads, 12 horns and all that. It tells you that. It tells
7 heads and 10 horns?
Yeah. But it tells you those regions. France, one of them. Spain, one of them.
You already know. See?
Germania Major, Germania Minor. All that, man. All those places are incorporated, man. And it doesn't change from back then to here because Babylon is made up of all those places. You know? And that's why the Lord is going to destroy this place the most powerful because they're thinking that, you know, they got a debt. Babylon has a debt. But that money is made is a debt like we brought out earlier. That debt, so wherever you go, these other nations, they're putting debt on them. That's why America don't got to pay their debt. But they got to pay it one way or the other. And that's through the Yahweh Bashim outside. Bashim outside the gospel coming back to pay that, he's coming back to collect.
Right.
Yeah. So you run into all these other different powers and Bashim outside.
Right. Verse 6, it says, which were clothed with blue, captains and rulers, all of them desirable young men, horsemen riding upon horses.
Yeah, yo, and people look at them like, oh, look at them, they're in power.
Yeah, that power. Yeah.
I remember a woman said that. She was like, I love calling the cops on black men. And it was a black woman that said it.
Yeah.
She's like, because when they come, look how they cower.
Right.
She wasn't too off on that because look at the average nigga. You'll shoot up everything on the streets. Bang, bang, bang. But as soon as the cops come, what you doing? You all ass in your eye. That's why they know. They know. That's why they do it. But call the cops on the man and Lord. You're not going to get the same results. Not now. Up and coming times, you know, the Lord's going to dance. A lot of us going to get delivered over, man. It's just all a part of the game. But you call the cops on the man that's doing nothing wrong. What the cops going to say? Why you calls?
Well, they'll lie.
Yeah.
They'll literally lie.
But the Lord going to have you. But guess what? You ain't going to run.
No.
You ain't going to run. Oh, shit, you fucking call for me. I'm not listen, I'm waiting for them to come.
Right.
So we can talk about it. You know?
Sick, man. Our women are sick, man. And they got a hell of a judgment to pay. It says, thus she committed her whoredoms with them, with all them, that were the chosen men of Assyria, and with all on whom she doted,
Now you
with
see
all
that?
their idols she defiled
It
herself.
said the chosen men of Assyria, which lets you know that these other nations, they got chosen men to run their nations at a point in time. Man. All right, just like you got the chosen men of Israel to run, the elect. All these other nations got elects of their nation, but the Lord takes them down. But our people, the weaker ones, you know, the elect is going to follow the words and the statutes and commandments, the best of their ability of Yahweh Shalom. You got to rough it out, man. That's what it's about, roughing it out. Because your reward is great. There's no other greater reward on this planet. Can't no man on this planet give you no greater reward than Yahweh Shalom Shai Bashim al-Hakadas for his righteous. And no man can give you another greater reward for you being wicked. And that's going to be ultimate destruction, chaos, and everything, man. Can't no man give you that. Can't no man guarantee that. But Yahweh Shalom Shai, man. Bashim al-Hakadas. That's why we'll behoove you to do right, man. Don't follow after this place.
And forget about Eve, because she's the most wicked, manipulative demon that you're ever going to want to talk to.
Because of her, we all die. You know? Because of her, we all die.
You listen to her, you through. Listen, I'm been through it, going through it, and it's a hell of a demon that's on Eve.
And then that's you following after the weaker person. That doesn't make sense. That's retarded.
Yeah, she sounds
It's like
retarded.
us trying to follow after Esau. When we got Yahweh Bashim Shai,
Right.
that's telling us the truth.
Yeah, we got the instructions in the scriptures.
Exactly.
You know, and they never give me one woman that you know is coming out of the scriptures in full righteousness, right? Because they gonna get tripped up on the multiple wives thing. It's number one.
Yo,
They
that's
getting
the
tripped
main
up on that.
That's the main one.
Man, listen.
That's the main one.
You know,
That's the main one. That's a stumble. That's all you gotta do is mention it to them.
right?
They might try to act like they down with their friend. Oh, you know, just make you say that. And like a lot of men in Israel that know that did it, it always was chaos.
Yeah, but like they have to agree. Listen, you don't have to agree. This is what I want. I'm the head of you. That's like a child telling you you can't have no other children. Right? I'm the head of you. I don't have to ask you. And that's why the men of the Lord, they gotta get their balls back too, because they act like, hey, she don't want to do it, so then you know I can't do it. No, we ain't got to ask you nothing.
You gotta wait for that Isaiah 4.
Right.
That's coming. Leave that.
Or just count the cost. If they want to flee, they leave. Right?
That's right, brother. You got it, boy.
It says,
For the tourists.
neither left she her whoredoms brought from Egypt, for in her youth they lay with her, and they bruised the breast of her virginity, and poured their whoredom upon her.
See that? And yo, that's damn, that's crazy. Oh my God, it's a little child. Because that's what they do to us. From the television, that witchcraft, because that's all the TVs are. You know, you put the pour it on you first, so you see it. And instilling it into the children, and the children grow up with that. That's like, and they're not teaching about Yahweh Bashim outside, Bashim al-Hakadas in these households, man. Especially these Christian people. Whatever comes on television, we might try to block it from this, but no, you can't even see the subliminals in the cartoons that they put on. Nowadays, it's just, I don't know, you know, they got rainbow, super hoop heroes, you know, books, yeah, everything, books. You got all that stuff going on, man.
That shows, Esau knows that scripture where it speaks about, you know, training up a child
Right.
from their youth, because they
right,
do
yeah,
that,
yeah.
them little psychological tests, reevaluations, and, you know, so, hey.
They try to make it seem like it's okay too, right? So they indoctrinate our children into this thing. So if you're a man of the Lord, you telling your child one thing, and they in school hearing another thing, right? They consuming that mess all on the TV, all on the internet, seeing all these images, and this freak off philosophy, right? And they think it's natural and okay.
You know, like what's that? Biggie said. He's like, they come and kill our babies. When the song, and yo, it was a essence with this dude now, didn't right? He was making back then in that time. His whole thing was, if you was over 21, you wasn't trying to sign. And you look at that dude, man. He got the same characteristics as Esau.
Right.
Because you want to get the teenagers, the children, the ones that's so much because you've been fed all this BS from a child on television. Your parents probably split up, your broken home.
Yeah.
Now you got your mother, so now you think that you got to be the father of the household. So they come to you because your mind is fucking corrupt already.
Hey, you're vulnerable.
You're sick, you're poisoned.
You're vulnerable, and your mind isn't developed yet.
Yeah.
So again, what else do they do? They feed you with alcohol. They feed you with drugs, and now you stuck because you don't even know what's going on, and now you got video of yourself being molested, basically.
Ravaged.
Yeah. Can't imagine what type of things happen to these young boys, right?
Look at Orlando, man. He was a
Wow,
little
man.
kid.
Right.
I used to see him, Disney, all the niggas start up on Disney.
Right.
So that's going into that stuff where they're coming, they're putting it on with the children. Because they think that that's normal.
Well, I remember my son was doing the modeling thing, right, for Gap and Old Navy. And it was one day we took him to New York for a photo shoot for the Gap. He would not stop crying. That was the last day. That was the last day I took him. It was like, man, it was like maybe two. Oh, we were right there. He was just like the spirit put on, like, get me the hell out of here. Yeah, get me out of here.
That's crazy.
It was like, we'll wait all day. You got paid like $1,000, but it never went because he was crying. He was like, I'm not trying to do this. So it was his spirit.
Because you never know, now it start off like that. Like, oh, yeah, he's comfortable. Boom.
Right.
Now they come to you more as a parent. Well, you know, we
right.
want to be their agents.
Right, because at this age, right, he probably would have went up there by himself and did it. You know what I'm saying? But he was like 3. Y'all saw him when he was like 9 or something. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, he was like 3 years old. He wouldn't stop. He was like, I'm not doing it.
Video with
I ain't doing it.
It was a little kid, right? I think this was the first time they was seeing that little demon Santa Claus. How you gonna put your child on a stranger's lap?
Right.
Then you tell your children don't talk to strangers. Yo, this little girl, this is a little girl, crying her eyes out so bad, terrified. They couldn't even sit around her.
Right.
She was like, man, get me the hell out of
Yeah,
here.
that's how he was. Yeah,
That's
how it was.
The Lord gave him that.
Right.
But now look what look what he be saying. He knows the name of the Father and the Son. You know? He knows it. He didn't know about Leviathan. You know? A lot of children, other children, they screwed up. And he would probably look at him like, man, you don't know about this? Oh, because that's just the spirit. Like the brother said, man, gosh, strong spirit.
It says, wherefore I have delivered her into the hand of her lovers, into the hand of the Assyrians, upon whom she doted.
So, the Lord delivered our people into all this. What you see out here. This ain't nothing new. When you're a prophet, you've been in this situation before, and you're doing the same thing you did back then, speaking against it. Everybody want to talk murder, death, and go. Just follow after this. Follow. That's all leading to death, man. And we're trying to tell you, man, the only way out is through this book, man.
That's it.
And the Lord has to put the Spirit on you to believe in that, man. Other than that, man, you're done, man. You're toast.
Texas
Turkey.
toast with no garlic.
You're turkey. Your ass about to get
Stuffed.
With the missiles. You know, for real. You know, that's, hey, man, and it's sad, man. Because yo, the Lord could have did that to us.
God.
And that's supposed to make you even more humble.
Right. Right.
The Lord to give you a conscience to know right from wrong, and when you do something wrong, you feel so heavily convicted. That's a righteous spirit, man. Because some people just do stuff and they don't even think twice about it.
No. We're still in this world.
Yeah, touch.
Yes.
That's dope, man. Listen.
Because that's what will draw you to the people. You know? Because I get like, you didn't know what you were doing. You know? A lot of people, they don't know all the commandments. They don't know all the... And when they hear about it, it's like, oh, man.
They still eating abominable foods. They still think that a delicacy is that crab, that shrimp, that lobster. They think they doing it big, eating those abominable foods.
Right. Not knowing, like, yo, that came from slavery.
That's death.
Leftovers.
Those sea creatures have a job in the sea. That's to clean the sea out.
Huh?
They're the garbage pail of the sea. And you think you paying $50 for a lobster.
Right.
Half a pound, $50. And you think you're doing something. Oh, let me dip this in butter. Oh, look how fat that. Come on, man.
That's why women, their pH balance is messed up.
Right,
You know, they're feeling sick, they got high blood, high this.
right.
Because it catches up to you.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah. You
That's right.
putting that stuff in your body.
Our people don't live, but the majority, the percentage-wise, don't live past what, 70, 75?
And by the time they get to 50, they're not living abundantly anyway. They sick. They're always sick. Yeah. So it's not about even the years on your life. It's the life in the years that you live. And they don't even have life in those years that they live. Right? Loaded, fat, and just nasty. Can't move like it. Listen.
You can't tell them nothing.
No, you can't tell them anything. They think they know everything. And when you try to explain to them, even through regular biology, right, or nutrition, they still don't want to hear it. They still want to do what they want to do. And that's what happened in the ancient times. Our people wanted to do what they wanted to do when they wanted to do it. It was after their filthy lust, which is why we're in the position we're in right now. You know, like I said, I look at myself first too. Right? But to still be in that state of mind, to think that you can do whatever you want to do, when you want to do it, and still be in this Babylonian mind state, hey man, good luck with that.
Well, they
That's
want
a hell of a
situation,
curse.
man.
Yeah, that's a hell of a curse.
They think it's right, because going back, because in their youth, they were fed that, they were
Right.
kids. So you tell them now as adults, they're like, well, we've always been eating. Matter of fact, my mom, when I first started learning the basics of the truth of the scriptures, I showed my mom the shrine, the cup, you know, she got mad, of course, but fast forwarding to a few years later, she ended up telling me how she stopped eating those things. Because it came down to like a life or death situation.
Right. Because you got all that filth in your system.
She wanted to stop now because it's a life or death, but not when I told her.
Right. Not to be righteous.
So they don't want to stop or
Right.
take heed because we telling them.
Right.
But then when it's life or death, then
Right.
it's like, oh,
Yeah.
damn,
Right.
yeah, let's get right. It's
Yep.
too late
Right.
at that moment.
Because you got that high blood pressure, you got high cholesterol, you got all these things because you're putting that abominable food in your holy temple. Right? And again, you can't tell the people nothing. Yep, being unrighteous.
Look what just happened right there, man. The little girl, they told her, to get off the joint. Get off the joint. They told everybody that. She kept sitting there like, I'm going to just keep doing it. The cop was like, well, the female cop, she's like, well, you know what? Your ass will be right in there. The same one about to hop back up. She was like, man, you can get him back in that petty day. That's what's coming for you wild ends, man. See? See, look, disrespectful. They telling it.
Yeah.
See, that's the behavior of our people. Degenerates, and guess who's doing it? Woman, little girl.
Right.
Home training problem.
14, 15 years old.
Right, but see what? And our people don't take accountability of what they have done. You know? They don't
Think
take
everything a joke.
Yeah, they don't take no accountability of how many times they've been coming up here and terrorizing shit. So now when they put those strict rules on you, because you didn't want to listen to sound things, the Lord got the sword right there. You know? The sword right there, the Lord's will with me, his prophets is right here. And they've been warned about these things. You got, brother, and that's crazy, because the Lord gave them over to that, man. Hey, this is prophecy right in front of your face. It ain't gonna be too long enough when you're gonna have the military out here. The UN people out here.
Right.
And they ain't gonna be talking to them right now because that's some people they understand the same language, you know. But them troops that's coming, they're not gonna understand no English or nothing. They got orders to just you're an enemy, so destroy.
Shoot to kill.
Exactly, man. That's what's coming.
It says it's gonna be no
They
remorse.
go to Persians.
No
See
mercy.
that? Persians, right?
It says
Serious.
slay utterly old and young.
And when they come, man, they think it's a game, joke. All right, well, keep joking, keep laughing. And this is like the evil's growing on the earth more and more. But these little niggas thinking more coming, more cops coming, but they still want to put
Right.
instead of getting ordered. I ain't saying follow after their philosophy. No, you just pulled it. Listen, man. Serve the Lord.
Yeah.
This is coming from two good niggas, man. I'm so happy.
Yeah. Go home.
Tired
Go
of doing this shit.
go in the park or something.
Right.
Go play.
How many times we done say,
Hey.
me and the brother used to be like, damn, going back out there. It's nice up. Man, I hope them niggas.
Little baby's kids. We don't die. We multiply.
That's right, yo. That's right. Look. Now you got it.
It says these discovered her nakedness. They took her sons and her daughters
Ooh,
and slew her with the sword,
see that?
and she became famous among women, for they had executed judgment upon her.
Yo, look what's happening. Damn, you can't make that up.
Yeah.
Well, on the children, read that part again, Baba Kashaw.
They discovered her nakedness. They took her sons and her daughters.
That's right, they're discovering our nakedness, our shame, man. Look at this is shameful. Our children ain't supposed to be acting like this.
Right. Thinking everything funny, a joke.
They discover it and they execute judgment on us, man. It's easy for you to go out here. You see, they ain't say not one thing to us.
Right.
Nothing.
Right.
The one dude came, he stood here.
Quarter for a little bit.
Yeah, you go back over there.
Right.
You know, what it is, what it is. They can record all they want. They
Right.
being recorded by the Lord.
Right.
The ultimate recorder is in the heavens. That's small things, man. It's supposed to happen. You know, that's why Yahweh Shah, he said, synagogue. Teaching. You know, then all of a sudden they flip it. So we know it's coming. But as long as we still got breath in our bodies and everything, we just gotta, you know.
Well, this ain't living anyway, so make it come. Go ahead and go ahead and come.
Teach the beard, man. Right.
Right. It says, and when her sister Ahalaba saw this, she was more corrupt in her inordinate love than she, and in her whoredoms more than her sister in her whoredoms. That's Judah. There go Judah. being more stiff-necked and wicked.
Man, God damn.
You know what I'm saying?
That's the top tribe.
Right. That go to Southern Kingdom.
God damn. Yo,
Yeah.
that's Judah Benjamin.
Yeah, here you go seeing the Northern Kingdom going off, and you going, hey, we gonna be more wicked than them.
And it's crazy because you got what's that? Levi is the priest.
Yeah,
You know, that's a priest.
unloyal. Yeah.
So for them, and they heavy into that witchcraft, man, because they saw, you know what? Ephraim a lot of Northern Kingdom is into that Santeria bullshit.
Right.
A whole bunch of witchcraft and all that, man. You know, because they think they're going to get results. I forgot, what was King's son? Was he Benjamin?
Yeah.
Was it Benjamin?
Yep.
And they get down like that. You
Yep.
know? They get into that, man. And they don't want to serve with the Lord, and the Lord gives you over to those things, man.
Yeah.
That's a scary thing, man.
That's when Benjamin and Judah made that covenant with David and Jonathan.
Right? This is sad, man. This is actually saying, yo, once they start dropping, because Nero, now he's giving an order to the yo, why do you think they lining up like they do?
Right.
This is a preview to what they're about to do. Just like they hopped out on the one dude, he's talking about, cops harassing the YN. I was watching the video, they followed the boy, he walking on the streets, yeah, they follow him, such and such. First of all, you dress like according to how these niggas act. You know what I mean? Like you ain't, you look like you're on angles and all that. So all the dude asked, he jumped out the car, he's like, yo, how old are you? I'm old enough, nigga. And then I'm like, damn. Okay. So when they fuck you up for real, because you think you so tough, well, what's your badge number? Y'all niggas, y'all don't got no common sense, man. Now you want to ask badge numbers. You don't even know the fucking law, first of all. You don't even take the time out to even read a fucking book.
Well, it's because they lack wisdom, right? Because they don't have the knowledge and understanding of the scripture. Because if they did, they would understand what does it say, agree with your adversary quickly.
Exactly.
You know?
Because he's able to put you in the
Right.
That's like they just
Right.
told her. All they say, yo, get off the road.
Yeah.
They're able to put your ass in the back of that cop car
Right.
when you got to go down there and all that shit.
Yeah, ain't got nothing
But
to
why
prove.
do all that when all you got to do is just get the fuck up?
Yeah.
Yo, my bad. You ain't agreeing to take the chip.
Right.
You ain't agreeing to do all that. Because they want to be, they don't respect authority. But guess what? The Lord is going to make you respect his authority. You damn sure going to respect his judgments. Damn sure going to respect his laws, statutes, and commandments. Because he said it. Then after all these things happen, he said, then they shall know that I, Yahweh, have done it.
Yeah.
I'm not pointing at myself, but you know what I mean. He done it, man.
Hey, and it says that people shall be willing that they are thy power seat.
Right.
So when we get in that power seat, hey, they gonna listen in.
The same ones that you look down on and mocked and laughed at and scoffed all these years, when they get that power that the brother's talking about, now you're gonna want to get down with it.
Right.
By that time it's too late, man.
Yeah.
But those men been humble as hell, man. Took a lot of L's that you don't even know about. Still taking it.
So they can hear the word.
Exactly.
Hey, well, that's why I say a friend can't be known, right? When you're in a good estate.
Good
Exactly.
time, man.
The man is good. Hey, that's right. That's how you know your friends is.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, you want to down and out and all that. The Lord is sinning.
See, you saw it during the time of 2020. You see when our families was going against each other.
Right.
Or for just something small like that.
Right.
That was a testament.
Right.
What they about to do. Now it's about to get put down. Push this
Yeah.
point. Where you left off?
11.
Like a video, about 15.
It says, and she doted upon the Assyrians, her neighbors, captains, and rulers, clothed most gorgeously, horsemen riding upon horses, all of them desirable young men. Then I saw that she was defiled, that they took both one way, and that she increased her whoredoms, for when she saw men portrayed upon the wall, the images of the Chaldeans portrayed with vermilion.
That's crazy. You said the image on the wall and they sit on the
It says,
our people, they like to follow after the traditions of men.
or just want to be hard-headed.
Yeah,
Like, man just told her to get off.
Yeah.
And you want to play back and forth.
Now you want to start twerking and all that.
Hey,
That's still, man. I'm telling you, man. And look, and the later it gets, the more they start coming up.
Right.
And they got the gates over there, so I know they about to gate this up.
Yep.
But yo, the Lord allowed us to come out here. Now, because this was gated off the last couple of years.
Yeah.
That's why we wasn't in. You know? We went to the other spot.
That's why Mr. Stevens always worked once.
All right. That's right.
We're in a time where this is the last, what they call it, generation Z. Or
Yeah.
the millennials.
It's over.
Yo, we was bad, like in a sense, like when we was younger, it wasn't bad. We just wanted to get into shit. We wanted to go outside, you know? But at certain ages, I couldn't even cross the street. I didn't have my own phone. I didn't have the liberty that they have.
Oh, they at 12 they think they're grown.
12,
But
13-year-old.
essentially, if they was raised right at the age of the flower, that would be considered to have. Because Esau even knows that. That's why they raise him up. So they raise up a child while he's young. What they do now, they got the bar mitzvahs at 13. But usually, like, I was shy when he was 12. Look what he did. But he was right. It's over, man.
It's over.
It's over for these